It's lovely to have Hayley on Testify podcast.
It's really nice.
Thanks for having me.
It seemed to be a big twist of the arm to get you here.
No, it wasn't. I was busy last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the week before.
Whenever you do
and
it. I'm busy a lot of the time.
You shared at chapel for
Yeah.
10 minutes,
Yeah.
and that was amazing. And so this is just to try and pad it out a bit more, so people can actually hear a bit more of the story. So,
Sounds good.
yeah, maybe do you want to kick off? Where are you, Butsy, from, and like state?
Yeah. I was born in Toowoomba, which is Queensland, and then lived there with my family until I was 7. Then we moved to Ballina, which is next door to Byron Bay. I think it's better than Byron Bay.
Really?
But I think that's, controversial. And then we moved to the Gold Coast when I was 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've lived here most of my life.
Nice.
I'd say I'm from the Gold Coast.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
This guy's from the Goldie too, so go strong, Gold Coast.
What school?
I went to Varsity College.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah. It was a good school.
Jasmine was at varsity.
Yeah, she was. That's where we met in grade 7. Yeah.
So you've been friends since then?
Yeah, 15 years.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How's
I know.
special.
Yeah, it is special. I know. It's weird, but it's very special. It's the longest relationship I've had. It's not my family.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
And
Yeah.
you're flatting together.
We are, yeah. We always said that we could never live together. But then I was moving in with Melissa, and I think she was scared of missing out. But we work really well together. And it's good to have Melissa as a buffer.
You're almost like sisters now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. We work really well together, the three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had you guys
Nice.
over for dinner.
Yeah.
I love seeing you three work. It's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Especially gaming. Especially
Yeah.
games.
Oh, yeah, we love a games night.
Pretty
Yeah.
cutthroat, you three.
We are very competitive.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
up on the leaderboard?
For like games.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all good at different things. Jasmine's like super competitive. Melissa and I are like thinkers.
Right.
So we're good at the other game.
So what I'm getting
Jasmine's
from
really
that,
good at-
Jasmine's up.
Have you guys played Taco Cat?
Yeah.
The slappy one. She's very good at that.
Yeah.
No.
She's
What's
fast. It's like Snap,
Taco. It's
but
I love tacos.
it's ruthless.
I love tacos.
you would like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still don't have any
Expect to
idea what
walk
it
away
is.
injured.
Yeah. It's heavy.
You have to just play it.
Is it like spoons?
Nah, it's like
like
snap, but you snap for different things.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, okay,
Well,
cool. I'm down.
Yes. So, after high school,
Yeah.
uni?
Yeah. So I went straight into uni, mostly because it never occurred to me that I would do anything different.
Right.
So I just went straight into uni. I always wanted to like teach young kids, but I had a teacher kind of tell me that I was too smart for that. So I ended up going
What?
into high school teaching. I know that's so bad, hey. But so I went into high school teaching, and then was halfway through that and about to do my first prac. And I like had just turned 18, and I was going to be teaching like 16-year-olds. Had a little
Wow.
freak out. Took 6 months off uni. And then I went back to finish, but because I did a dual degree, I just finished the arts degree in English and writing because, I've always liked to write and I liked English, and I thought I might as well get a degree, finish that. And then I just worked full-time in retail for like 2 years. And then I was just talking to somebody one night about being on kids' church, and I was like, oh, yeah, I love kids. And I was like, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I've always wanted to teach kids. Why am I working in retail?
Wow.
So then I looked into it, and I could do a graduate diploma just a year, which was fully online, so I could still work and then do that
Nice.
in early childhood education. And now I'm a kindergarten teacher.
How awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what you always wanted to do.
And that's pretty much what I always wanted to do, yeah. But
But a
people
teacher
told me
said you're too
that I
bright,
was too smart,
too smart for a
which is
kindergarten
a
teacher.
compliment and also really mean.
Yeah.
That's so bad. Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense either because
No.
what's
Yeah. I know.
how can you be too smart to teach kids?
I
isn't-
know. That's part of the problem. Hey.
So that
Might
how
do it.
sort of what diversion? How long did that take to sort of come around to
So,
that
I-
realization you were actually correct
Oh,
in your discernment of actually I want to teach
what
kids.
I want to do. So I
Yeah.
graduated high school in 2012, and I graduated the graduate diploma last year. So
Wow.
2020,
So it took
8 years.
wow.
Yeah.
And you're
long time.
now a kindergarten teacher
Yeah.
and love it.
Yeah.
So you
love
get
it
up every day
so much.
and you're
Yeah.
pumped.
Yeah, pretty much.
How cool
The
is
only
it?
thing I don't get pumped about sometimes is like work politics and
Oh
like
yeah.
you know, that's every job.
Yeah.
But I'm always pumped to go see the kids and, you know, figure out what we're going to do for the week. And yeah,
I think
love
that's
it.
awesome.
That's
It's
pretty
so
cool,
good.
eh?
Yeah, it's
Uh,
cool.
A young lady doing what she loves to do.
Yeah.
How good is that?
Yeah, it's good. But I also think like going the long way, in hindsight, it was a good thing. I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
fair enough.
It was the right path. Yeah.
You pick up a lot of skills, learn a lot on the way. and
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, relationship with God, like, how's
Yeah.
that? How did that start?
Come about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't born into a Christian family. My family's like always been like Christian on paper, like tick a box, we're Christian. So my mom, like we were all baptized as babies, and my mom would be like, "Oh yeah, we're Christian," but like we didn't go to church, we didn't read the Bible.
Right.
I had no concept of Jesus other than like Christmas, like baby Jesus. But like we believed in God, but then my mom's also very, I want to say more new age. Like she like believes in more like the idea of like a God universe kind of thing.
Right.
A lot of paths lead there. And
Yeah. Jesus isn't the only way.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that kind of thinking. So, yeah, growing up, I feel like we just always had, like, we would have family friends who were Christians, or I had friends at school who were Christians. So, just little, like, bits always got into my head. And so I just learnt more. I knew that, like, we could pray. I knew we could talk to God.
Wow.
So, from as young as I can remember, I would pray, like, every night. Like, when we moved to...
Just off your own, out of your own,
Yeah.
just out of your own volition, just like, oh, I'm just going to
Yeah.
pray.
I
Oh, how
just
awesome was
pray
that?
to God. Yeah. Because I was like young and lonely and like afraid of the dark. I would just pray to God all the
Oh.
time. And I went through a phase when we moved to Ballina where I didn't have like a lot of friends for a bit. I remember I'd just walk around and just chat to God like on my
Oh, how
on
cool.
lunch. I know. It's so, I don't even know how I got there.
No Bible.
No
No-
Bible.
no sort of
yeah. Yeah,
just-
so
Wow, how cool is that?
later in life, probably like 8, 9, we started doing like RE through school,
Oh, yeah.
religious education. So that taught me a bit. And then I got like one of those little tiny New Testament Bibles.
Yeah.
So I had one of those. I remember I had an RE teacher who handed out her email, and I would email her back and forth with like questions.
Wow.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be allowed to
legit.
do that now.
I know. She's such a nice lady though. Like
How
she
cool.
would email me. Yeah, crazy.
That must have been when email was first out or something.
Yeah. We didn't, like, we had the one family computer.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And
yeah,
it
yeah.
was like,
The
yeah,
dial up.
dial up.
Yeah. Who's on the
Get
phone?
off the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
So you used to, like, what sort of questions? Can you remember?
No, I don't really remember. I think
Okay.
I just, yeah.
Just
I
the
just
idea.
wanted to know about everything. Hey. Yeah. Because I just had no concept. And I kind of got that my mum didn't really want to talk about it.
Okay.
And like, yeah, so I was just like, oh, well, I'll talk to somebody else. Like, I'll just figure it out. And yeah, so then when I didn't have like a lot of friends, I would pray to God, ask him for a best friend. I was
Cool.
like, God, everybody else has, you know, like that class partner. Like, I want a best friend. And then we moved to the Gold Coast, and I met Jasmine.
Awesome.
And I met also her cousin Celeste. So we were all in the one class together, the three of us. And I don't even know how we became friends, but just one day we were friends. And they were both born and raised Christians. So Celeste invited me to go to church with her. And yeah, I started
So you
going.
would have been like 14,
I would
13.
have been like 11, 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I started going to church. And then the year after, we all got split into different classes, so we didn't hang out for a little bit. And then the year after that, Jasmine and I reconnected and like really became like really good friends.
Awesome.
And then, yeah, we started going to a youth group that was run out of our school, just like a really small, kind of similar to our like NYC, like just small,
Nice.
very chill. And so I would go to Jasmine's house on Saturday, go to youth group, sleep over, and then go to church on Sunday
Cool.
morning. Yeah. And then probably around the age of like 14, 15, I like actually put my hand up and was like, Lord, I want to give you my heart.
Wow.
Yeah, let's do this.
So you remember that?
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, I do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You
It's
just came to a
cool.
point where you're like, I want to follow this Jesus
Yeah.
that I'm learning about.
Yeah. Well, I remember a conversation over MSN with Jasmine where she was like, oh, you know.
Just remembered MSN.
She was like, have you ever, you know, actually like prayed the prayer? And I was like, oh, no, I haven't. Because no one ever had really, like I was learning everything as I went. So I was like, oh, well, if I have to pray that prayer, I'm going to pray that prayer. Like,
Cool.
yeah. I've already known him all my life. Why wouldn't I want to keep knowing him?
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, so, and that's what changed on the inside? Like, did anything change, or it was just,
Yeah, I think everything in my life has been very slow. I think God's happy to take me the long route. But definitely things changed. Also, like I was quite young, so growing up, just as I got older, I would feel more responsibility. And yeah, just like the more I learnt about God and who he actually is, the better picture of him I had. The more, you know, I was in my word, the more I could relate to him and actually figure out how to walk out being a Christian, not just believing in the idea of a God, but actually how to follow after Jesus.
wow, that's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously your family didn't discourage you in that, because they in themselves, I suppose, thought
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
really grateful. Like my mum never stopped me
Cool.
from going to church, you know. It was always our decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though like it might not have been her choice, she was always happy for me to make my own choice, go where I needed to go, you know. Yeah, which is really good.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And that's
Yeah.
and your friendship with Jasmine was obviously vital.
Yeah, definitely.
Like an answer to prayer, you prayed in Ballina, I need a best friend.
Yeah. And then I got her and she helped plug me into a church, which,
Wow.
yeah.
How
Yeah.
important now you sit here now, how important is church community for you?
So important. Hey.
Yeah.
But that's only been like a realization since I came to chapel.
Right.
Because we used to go to another church in Surfers Paradise, and I went there from 14 to maybe like 22, 23. I must have been 22. And we left for reasons, and I haven't heard from anyone there
Right.
since we left. Like it was basically the people I knew there was just Jasmine and her family.
Right.
And like we had other friends, but no one who I felt like I could reach out to or really talk to. Like if Jasmine wasn't going to church, I wouldn't go to church
Right.
because, you know, I'd have no one there.
Just feel like you're sitting by yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas since coming to chapel, it probably took me like a year to really like get involved and be bothered, because it was me. I needed to get involved.
Right.
And now, yeah, it's like my everyday. I see them all the time. It's so good for just like walking faith on your own is really hard. And being able to talk to people and be honest with people and know that like they're going to be there to pull you up if you're doing something stupid, or they're going to be there to help pick up the pieces after you did the stupid thing.
Right.
Like it's really, it's really special. It's
Awesome.
really good. Yeah.
I'm interested how school was, how varsity was. You went to varsity primary and then high school, eh?
Nah, just varsity high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it year 7?
Yeah.
Was that the...
Oh, they have like middle school. So 7 to 9 is middle school, but it's in the same school as the high school.
Okay, because that was before everywhere else would have shifted to.
Yeah.
I'm interested, like, how that was for you two.
Yeah.
Because high school is really challenging, and both of you are. You're both like quietly confident.
Yeah.
And sort of not set in your ways, but like you don't seem easily like pushed around or swayed. You've both kept yourselves pretty solid, you know, made some pretty big decisions, studied, worked. You're both pretty independent.
Yeah.
So like how was school for you when everyone else, I guess what I'm most interested in is when everyone else was making somewhat stupid decisions, how were you two not joining in on that?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
So
I want an episode.
So the year that we like weren't really friends in grade 8, I like made another group of friends, and then Jasmine made another couple of friends. Because Jasmine, she's very like confident now, but that definitely came later in life.
Right.
So I made friends probably with the girls who were making the wrong choices later in life. But yeah, it was a bit of a struggle. I think Jasmine, because she had her family, and her family's always like safeguarded her from a lot of things. Like her parents have been quite strict. Like it never occurred to her to want to go to parties or do anything like that. Whereas me, I feel like I went through a stage where I was like, oh, I just have to see. Like, I just have to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the party. I'm going to drink the drinks, you know. I'm going to do whatever. And I was always in control because I didn't really want to go down that route. But I did go through a stage of, like, dipping my toe in the water, being like, oh, is this bad for me? And it's like, yes, it is. And it's like, oh, but is it really bad? Oh, yeah, it is. So that was probably like just maybe like grade 12 and maybe like the year after when everyone was in uni and doing all that kind of stuff. But mostly like I just feel like my family has always given us a lot of freedoms. Like my mum was always like, you make your own choices, but you need to tell me what you're doing. I need to know if you're going to go to something, I'm going to pick you up. And I think because I had that much freedom, it made it less enticing. It was like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to go to this party, have a few drinks, and then my mum's going to pick me up at 11 and I'll be in bed, you know, sleeping. Like, yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a time where I wasn't as, where I was more easily strayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it? And why didn't you continue with it? What made you go, man, this isn't really for me?
I think because I already knew the Holy Spirit. So just like being involved in that stuff. It's not to say I didn't do it, but you know, you have the conviction of this actually isn't good for you.
Yeah.
Like it's actually just rubbish, and you know that. And so because you have that conviction, it's like, well, I know what's better. Like,
wow.
You know?
That's sort of amazing, eh?
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, not sort of, it is amazing.
Yeah.
It's really special.
Yeah. I can relate.
Yeah.
Same.
You can't.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I cannonballed straight into that swimming pool head first.
Yeah. I think there's an amazing insight I think the Holy Spirit gives you,
Yeah, definitely.
you know, with stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. And Rochelle shared today about the statistics, a statistic of 70% of believers, they experience something before they're 18. And just when you were sharing about walking around when you were little, I'm like, man, how cool is that? I can't quite explain it, but it's almost for sure when you were younger and you were walking around, God's just like, you would have been saying things that you weren't even maybe fully aware of, that God was just sowing seeds and just captivating your heart and making his bed in your heart, and you were just all for it. And then
definitely,
man, it's really special. And I support what she said. I think that's very much true. Not that people after you aren't 18, like But even my encounter was before I was 18. I ran amok, but then after, the only place I could run to was to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just super special. It's really sweet.
He's really he's safeguarded me from so much because I've always known him, and it blows my mind because there's no reason that I should have known him so young. Just other than there was just people in my life and I was obviously receptive to it. And just when you see him be faithful, why would you choose another way? Why would you walk away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've just had this beautiful relationship with the Lord.
Yeah.
So cool.
For your whole life.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I think that's just awesome.
Oh, it's so special, and then for you to pray the prayer God, I want a best friend, and then for you to come to the coast and then get Jasmine, who in my opinion, even though you two are super different, you're so alike.
Yeah,
and she is very much the same.
Yeah,
just in her lane,
it's awesome.
doing her thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's beautiful. It's amazing. And it should be super encouraging for any young people that listen to this, because no doubt everyone goes through a similar thing at a certain stage. So, you guys, can we go back to you being at school?
Yeah.
So he's sort of stuck on this, isn't he?
Oh, I love this stuff, man. That's where my heart is. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
You were doing sort of fine at school. You guys disconnected. You starting to dip your toes in. And then did you reconnect before the end of school or?
Yeah. So we became best friends, I would say, in grade 9. So that would have been 14, 15.
Did this involve any necklaces or rings?
Oh, yeah, we did have a bracelet at one point.
Yes.
But then we never wore it, so then we're not going to do that again. That seems silly. We'll just be friends.
You'd be my best friend. That thing.
Bring back the friendship bracelet.
Yeah, the little, the break heart ones? You each have half of a heart on a bracelet. Yeah, we had that at one point.
That's gangsters.
Yeah, we thought it would be cool. But yeah, so that's when we reconnected. And then, I don't know, just became best friends because we saw each other all the time. Yeah. And then, so then pretty much for the rest of school, we were best friends. And then in grade 12, Celeste passed away in a car accident, her cousin. It was probably her other, main support and best friend.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so then that definitely, strengthened our friendship more because walking through that together, how can you not? Yeah.
Was that in year 12?
Yeah, it was in February, the beginning. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how? Well, I can't even imagine what that would have been like because you were close with her. You were both.
Yeah, we were best friends definitely by that point. Yeah. Yeah.
Did it make Did you question God and all that, or did you get closer to Him, or both, or both sort of things, or did you feel closer to Him or further away?
I can only really speak for me, but it actually did make me feel closer to Him.
Wow.
Because it's hard to explain, but so there were 5 of them in that car, and Celeste was the only one who knew Jesus.
Wow.
And it's not to say that this was His plan or anything like that, because who knows, but to know, to have peace that she was with God. And I did have peace. I knew that, she's she knew the Lord. She had been through some stuff the year before, and she had spoken to us and said how she'd reconnected and she'd never felt God be more real in her life.
Wow.
And just the peace of knowing no matter what, she's okay. He's got her.
Wow.
So it did make me draw closer to Him.
That's
It was a hard time. That was because I'd never really gone through death before. I didn't really know how to process it, and I'm not very good at outwardly processing. I'm more of I'll just internalize it, and I'm not very good at sharing with other people. Oh, I'm getting better. I wasn't very good. And because Jasmine had lost, like, basically her sister, I felt like I had to just figure out how to be there for her and how to be strong for her.
Wow.
So because of that, I bottled things down for a while. And then a couple months later, I was like, oh, everybody else, like, seems to be getting kind of good. Like, they seem to be moving on. And I still was just in, like, a really dark place. And all this other stuff that I hadn't really dealt with, you know, from earlier in my teenage years was coming up. And I, like, even though I trusted that God had Celeste, the thought of that actually made me feel guilty for being sad about it. I was like, you know, I'd be crying and I'd be like, God, I'm sorry that I'm such a mess because I know that she's with you, so I should be okay. And then I was also, you know, we, like, had just come out of some really hard financial stuff with my mum, so I was stressed about that.
Wow.
And then just all of, you know, just a lot of self-worth stuff from when I was younger because my dad left when I was 11. And just all of it, like, it was just like I'd built a dam and all of it just came crashing at once. And I just
Couldn't hold it together.
Yeah. And I also, like, I never let anyone into it. I didn't. And I was trying to keep God out of it. And then I remember one night just crying my eyes out, and I was home alone. And I just remember the Lord saying, like, Hayley, stop apologizing for your tears. I'm not afraid of them.
Oh.
And I just blew my mind because I didn't understand him like that.
Yeah.
I thought that he would be disappointed in me for being such a mess because I needed to, you know, just pull it together.
Wow.
And do better.
Wow.
But yeah, so through all that, it was like a few months, but it finally made me realize, wow, like, I can actually be honest with God. Like, I can actually, you know, he already knows. I can actually say to him, like, God, all this sucks. Like, it's not fair. And he can handle it, you know? Like, he's not.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How important, like, I had one really good friend growing up in high school, and we were both believers and looked out for each other. Just had one good friend. Bomber, his name was, and had a faith community. And, you know, you go through stuff. How important was that one best friend, Jasmine, and the faith community? Like, how solid was that for you in keeping you on a path of safety instead of going down the track of...
Yeah, so important.
Yeah.
Hey, I think, there was a time where it was all tied up together, you know? Like, because if I didn't have that friendship, I wouldn't have gone to church every week. I wouldn't even know, like, where to find a church or what to do. And because of that, because we went to the youth group out of our church, we met more Christians at our school and, you know, had other people we could talk to. It was really, really important because you can't do it on your own. And it's so easy when you're young to get led astray. So having her as my best friend, like, we can always pull each other up on things and we can keep each other accountable. Yeah, it's super important.
Because some people, I'd say, would use the challenges you went through, Celeste, to, as an excuse and blame God and say, you can't be real. And, you know, just use that as stuff it, you know?
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot, you know?
Oh.
It's sort of like a excuse
Yeah.
to say, in my pain, I'm just going to hurt myself even more or something, you know? I don't know. But
yeah, I think just because I saw him be faithful in it and still, you know, like, still come to me and be like, I'm still here. You know, you can beat me up. You can do whatever you need to do. I'm still here.
Very good.
And just,
have it out with him.
Yeah, because where else would I go? Like, if I know that he's real, and I do, eventually I've got to come back to him, you know? Like,
It's good logic.
can circle around, but eventually we've either got to come to peace or we've got to have it out. whatever I need to do. But he can handle it either way. Still there.
So when you're like you help out at NYC now,
Yeah.
do you see like the value you can bring to the young people?
Yeah, I do. Definitely more so now. I've been on NYC for I think coming up on 3 years. It's been a while, hey. And it took me the first 6 months I hated it, hey. I would, I just didn't want to be there because I felt so out of place.
What?
Yeah, but obviously something in me felt convicted because I kept going back. But I just felt like I didn't offer anything and I just didn't feel like I was connecting with them. But in the last couple of years, definitely, I've had a few moments where I have been able to speak into especially some of the young girls' lives, and it's really special because it really matters.
Yeah.
And even when it's not serious and big stuff, even just being there and being a safe place for them to come to outside of their family, it's important. Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, I definitely hold it with more weight because I know that was such a crucial time for me in my faith walk and just in my life. I know so many people devalue what teenagers go through, what they walk through, and you can't devalue that. You don't know.
What does that look like? What do you mean devalue?
You're
just play it down.
Yeah, you're having a hard time at school. It's just school. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
You don't know what that means to them. Their brains aren't fully developed. They don't have perspective. It means a lot.
It's
and
their world, right?
It's their world. Yeah, whatever they're going through, and also we don't know everything they're going through. I just think, yeah,
that's good insight, even for parents listening. I think, even to parents of our NYC.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just good to be, a safe place for them. Yeah.
I love it.
Because you found that in your youth group, right?
Yeah,
a level
definitely.
of support. Because I remember in your testimony you said there was, just that consistency of encouragement.
Yeah, they were really cool. It was this family from PNG, and they're just so lovely. Yeah.
Just a small group.
Yeah.
Just open the house. Was it a house or the?
Yeah, so they would either hold it at our school, in the hall, or just at their house. There was probably 15 of us, max.
How cool!
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, all ages, high school age.
High school age, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Then you could just chill out and talk and share and pray and.
Yeah. Somebody would have a guitar. It was really nice. Yeah.
That's good. What do you think some of the young people are going through now, from your perspective?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm an expert.
Oh, I'm not saying you
yeah.
are. You're actually involved in their world.
Yeah.
Are the challenges different from when you were?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I think just I didn't even have an iPhone until I was, 16.
Okay.
So I think just seeing even the stuff that's on TikTok, I'm like, oh, that's bad.
Right.
But I just think it would be so hard growing up in this time where there's so much value placed on on this perfect life, on their bodies, on what they wear, on how expensive you look, all this stuff. And it is it's all the same sort of themes from when I was growing up, but I just feel like it's in their face all the time now. And it would be so hard holding your morals and convictions with the kind of culture that's out there right now. Yeah. I think for those of them who are just trying to walk the line, that's amazing that they're trying to, chase after God instead of just going, oh, this is too hard.
It's a important generation, eh? The next generation, the young ones.
Always.
Tough for parents, I think, as well. How do you navigate that stuff, man? Just changes so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the what's one of your favorite verses that sort of or scriptures that sort of hold you or comes to remembrance or you think of with your walk so far, do you think?
Oh, do you know, I think he's loved you with an everlasting love.
Wow.
He's drawn you with unfailing kindness. That's, yeah, actually that just came to my mind now. But that's whenever I think like if I start to get a distorted picture of God, I'm like, nah, he's loved me with an everlasting love. And I can see that, and I can see that he always draws me back to him with unfailing kindness. Like he's always kind. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
That's good, eh?
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Okay.
We got a little bit of time, eh?
Yeah, we've got
Cool.
5 minutes. So. Wow.
The first one,
Yeah.
going from in your mindset of a high schooler, going from high school to uni, because you studied on site, first.
Yeah.
How was that?
What do you mean?
Like the change of that and the things that you experienced, and it's sort of going into a little bit of the big world. Do you remember how that felt and some of the things that you learnt, not necessarily relating to your course, but life things that you learnt and saw as you transitioned in?
Yeah, I mean, I went to uni in Brisbane, so I didn't really,
Right.
like I chose not to make a lot of friends there because I kind of just would go and come back. It was more so like I worked all through high school, and then I got a retail job straight out of high school. So that probably taught me more. It was more just pretty much from the end of high school, like I had to be financially responsible. Like I lived with my mum, but I had to pay board. I had to pay my uni fees. I had to get myself to uni. Like I just, figuring out how to stand on my own 2 feet financially, what that looked like, being smart with my money. But then I also struggle with the other side of being, too reliant on money as like a safety net. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm just very wired that way. So being independent isn't really hard for me. I think the harder thing is actually relying on other people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you put a pretty high value though on being able to stand on your own 2 feet and working straight away?
Yeah, I probably do. Hey, when I see people who don't like work or study, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. I probably put too much value on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I reckon it's
Which
just
is-
enough. Just enough.
Nah, I think God is like teaching me, like all that stuff is good, but I still I need him. I need people. Like none of it, at the end of the day, like my job, whatever money I've got in the bank account, the house that I rent, like none of it's a safety net. Like he's my safety net.
Yeah, good.
So good.
Yeah, all of this stuff, if I can be a good steward with what he's given me, that's awesome. But I can't put any trust in it.
Good.
Yeah, which is something I'm probably still learning.
Oh, and but that's the line we've got to stay on.
Yeah.
Of I'm gonna get off my bum and work, and I'm gonna work hard. But I also and steward what I've got, not blow it. But then also be okay if all of that was to be pulled out from underneath me, because that's not that is not my safety net.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool. That's what Sammy and I are constantly battling with. And I think if you have that attitude, God looks after everything else.
Yeah. That's good.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, we think you're amazing.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people do. Thank you for your investment into our young people.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I can just imagine you as a kindergarten teacher. Hey, I just think all the kids would adore you.
Yeah.
They
And
do.
that just
And I love them.
that just follow you around like
Oh.
like little chicks following after you. They must love you. So I think it's fantastic. You knew from a young age that you were supposed to do that, and you're doing it,
Yeah.
and you're obviously grace for it. So thanks for sharing a bit more of your story on this,
Thanks for having me.
and you're amazing. Cool.
Thanks. One last question. We might stop with this, but just throw it out there. What's your what are you dreaming of doing in regards to work and with our community, our family, your family? What are your dreams? Like, what's something that's just in the future? Like, man, I'd love if I'm doing this in our community. I'd love if I'm doing this with my work.
I really like my job for now. I see myself doing that for maybe the next 5 to 10 years. We'll see. But, you know, I like to write.
Amazing.
And I could imagine myself, not even necessarily books, just teaching in some sort of way. I imagine it would be writing because I feel like I'm better at that than speaking. But I just feel at the moment like I feel a real weight of if I'm going to teach anyone anything, I really need to know what I'm talking about first. Like I need to have a real solid foundation so that I'm not a stumbling block and I'm not, you know, leading people astray. So that's something I could see probably in the far off future once I've lived life a little more, got more of a, you know, solid foundation like in scripture. I could imagine if God would grace it, you know, writing books and putting them out there into the world.
Wow.
I love it. That's what I wanted.
Great question.
Come on.
Great question.
Yeah.
It's out there now, Hayley.
Yeah, done. Got
Put
you.
it out there.
That feels like, you know, the 20-year plan.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, I heard 5 to 10 at the start.
Yeah, I see.
5 to 10, yeah. Nah,
No.
awesome.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.